It's fast-paced, it's exhilarating, it's so much fun to do.
Flying. I know it's cliche, but it's like flying.
Hello, my name is Don Hawkins and today we're going to demonstrate tent pegging for Pony Club. We're going to learn about the origins of tent pegging, the equipment used, how the training works and the final tent pegging competition runs. Tent pegging is an exciting and skillful horse sport and like dressage, show jumping and eventing has its origins in the military. Tent pegging is a variation of an ancient military skill. The use of sword and lance by mounted warriors dates back many centuries, and over the years skill at arms contests were devised which not only provided enjoyment and satisfaction to those taking part, but military prowess as well. Tent pegging was amongst these skills. It is believed that the invasion of India in 326 BC by Alexander the Great, that his army was the first to use the removal of tent pegs from around soldiers' tents in pre-dawn raids to cause havoc and confusion and therefore an easy victory. This then led to the practice of tent pegging. For many years the horse was the only means of transporting troops and the lance, sword and pistol were the only weapons carried, so proficiency with these weapons was paramount to survival. Naval and military tournaments were popular in Australia before World War I and drew large crowds of spectators. Tent pegging was also recognised at Olympic level in 1982 as an official event at the New Delhi Asian Games. In 1964, the first Australian civilian tent pegging team was formed in Deniliquin in New South Wales, and this team was invited to compete at the Melbourne Royal Show. Following this, several other teams were formed and tent pegging competitions are now held regularly each year, bound by the rules of the Australian Tent Pegging Association, formed in 1981. Tent pegging was popular and practiced by Australian mounted police units until recent times. Tent pegging competitions are also very popular in Europe and the United Kingdom. To this day, there are a large number of people involved in Australian light horse history-based units wearing all the original style uniforms of the day. These units still practice skill at arms events in the form of tent pegging. The tent pegging equipment has been modified to suit the safety needs of Pony Club. We use a dummy sword which has no point. It is made of an aluminium tube 25mm in diameter, 1 metre in length, with rubber stoppers on each end, so there is no point that could cause injury to the horse or rider. The peg is made from polystyrene foam and has high tensile fencing wire taped at the sides to hold it steady in the ground with 75mm protruding below. I'm going to introduce the sword to Lauren's horse that I believe is not going to bat an eye.
No.
But we just need to go through this process. That's a good boy. Okay, that's yours.
Thank you.
Calmly introduce the sword to the horse to test for their reaction. Just introduce the sword to Ollie and then rub it on his neck. It is good for the riders to rub their horse's neck with the sword to ensure the horse is okay mentally with this new task. This is a dummy sword. It's 1 metre in length and nice lightweight aluminium, so not so hard for you to use. When we use the weapon, there are a couple of things that are important. First of all, when you're carrying the weapon, we carry the weapon at the slope, which is with the forearm parallel to the ground and the fingers just wrapped lightly around the weapon itself. And then the carry position, of course, is when the sword is held vertical with always the thumb on top. All right, that's very important. The thumb on top prevents sideways swaying of the weapon. When we present the weapon for the tent peg, we thrust the weapon forward from the shoulder at full arm's length from shoulder height, like so, and the hand is turned towards the inside to have the tip of the weapon carried downwards. Right? If I turn my hand the other way, you see what happens? And then you try and strike a peg with that, it's very difficult. So it's always that way. Then we follow through with the eyes and the point of the weapon as we go past. It's very, very important that the elbow is locked. If the elbow is bent, the chances of you achieving a very good strike are minimal. So the present is very, very important, and the straight elbow is important. In the arena here, you have 4 corners marked out, and you can see a tyre each side of the arena. The tyre is what we want you to engage, and we want you to engage the ground in the centre of the tyre, because ultimately we are trying to promote muscle memory in you and your horses so that this becomes second nature. We can ride around the corner with the weapon at the slope. We come to the carry, thumb on top, and then the 10-metre marker prior to the tyre is where we want you to present the weapon. The secret to achieving a calm, obedient and responsive tent pegging horse is slow repetition. The runs are practiced at walk until the rider and horse show they are completing the processes easily and keeping a straight line. We have done a few rounds and I can see that you're starting to understand and learn some muscle memory. So I will put a peg in front of the tyre that you can strike with the weapon. As the horse and rider improve, they can progress to trot and canter. It is best to move slowly and practice at a slower gait rather than over-facing the horse and rider. There are common weapon handling faults to be aware of. Palming is where the weapon is put in the palm of the hand, which then gives us a slight advantage in reach and is marked down by 2 points. Reaching is where the rider stands completely in the stirrups and reaches down with the weapon prior to the peg, which puts the rider in a very precarious situation on the horse. That is also marked down by 2 points. Only one competitor is allowed on the course at any one time. The competitor enters the course area with the sword at the slope, with the forearm horizontal to the ground, the rider's elbow at their side and the weapon resting on the shoulder. They approach marker A at a walk and come to a halt. Before each rider commences, they must salute either the judge or the coach who stands opposite the tent peg marker. When the rider is at the beginning of the course, they must do the salute, which is the full arm's length outstretched with the weapon held vertical in the hand, and then me as the judge, in order to check the course first and make sure that it is clear, then I respond with the hand held straight up so that they can commence their run. This is a safety feature, first of all to ensure the course is clear, and secondly to let the rider know that they're ready to start. Judging commences as soon as the run has begun and continues until the halt at the other end of the course. For the present, the rider's arm must be straight and thrust forward in a very forthright manner. The straight arm is extremely important. There should be no bend at the elbow. This will determine ultimately the rider's drill scores and if the rider strikes the peg. If the rider does not use snappy drill movements, this will lessen the chance of striking the peg. The instant the peg is struck with the sword, the eye of the rider will be on the peg and the point of the sword. As the peg is passed, the arm is kept straight and the sword is allowed to at least swing back to the horizontal position behind the rider before being brought back to the front with a graceful underhand sweep and return to the slope. The rider follows the tip of the sword with their eyes at all times in this action. gallop is maintained until the F marker and then return to the halt at the end of the course. The sword is still at the slope position and the halt maintained briefly before the competitor leaves the course. The rider then returns to the line of competitors, waiting for their number in line to be next, assuming a position on the end of the line. Once the remaining competitors have completed their first run, the procedure is completed again until all competitors have had 2 runs, which indicates the end of the event. When scoring the competition as per the manual, there are 5 points awarded for drill, 5 points awarded for pace, and 6 possible points awarded for the striking of the peg. A complete striking of the peg flat to the ground will be allocated 6 points. Striking of the peg and it only being partially pushed to the ground will be 4 points. Striking of the side of the peg or the top of the peg with the tip of the sword is 2 points. Striking of the peg with any part of the sword not being the tip attracts 0 points. All riders wait in line until either called to attend the judge or the judge attends their position to announce the results of the competition. Sophia, first run, 5 for style, it's very good. Pace was almost there, so it was a 4.5 because he was just down a bit. 6 on the strike of the peg. Second run 5, 4.5 for the pace again, and 6. Caitlin, 5, 5 and 6 on both runs. Alex, 5, 5 and 6 on both runs because the horse was going as quick as it could and the drill and everything was really good. Fantastic effort.
It's actually a really fun thing to do. Like, it's really different from any other discipline, really. It actually, I've found, really helps with cross country. My horse in particular, I find it difficult to get her going in cross country, and 10 pegging you have to start straight away, full gallop. And it's really good for control as well, trying to control your horse at such a fast pace.
I like the going fast. It doesn't have to be fast, but to have that much control and precision at that sort of speed, it's an achievement. Sort of something to bragging rights.
I've never enjoyed going super fast, and to come out and do tent pegging was a bit of a challenge in terms of confidence and the ability to go fast, and I never quite thought I'd get a full run, and yet it is the most exhilarating feeling to actually get that full gallop over 150 metres or more and to maintain that control and then be able to stop at the end as well.
It's something completely different from anything you've ever done before. I would recommend it to anyone on any horse. Any horse can do it. I mean, Cara here is purebred Arab. She's a show horse, and yet she can come out here and gallop full pace, and she loves to do it.